Most people think luxury is loud, fast, and flashy. But the moment a Rolls-Royce Phantom appears, the noise dies, time slows down, and something uncomfortable hits you. This car doesn't try to impress you. It judges you, because the Phantom was never built for dreamers, hustlers, or attention seekers. It was built for people who already won the game, people whose silence costs more than your ambition. And once you understand why this machine exists, you'll realize something terrifying. Some levels of wealth were never meant to be reached, only witnessed from the outside. The moment a Rolls-Royce Phantom appears on the street, reality shifts, conversations pause, traffic feels smaller, and the world subconsciously understands that something untouchable has entered the frame. Because this is not a car meant to rush, compete, or prove itself. This is a moving throne designed for people who never check prices, never explain decisions, and never live loud lives. They live quietly powerful ones, and the Phantom does not chase attention. Attention chases it, drawn by the long sculpted hood stretching forward like a declaration of dominance. The spirit of ecstasy standing proudly at the edge, reflecting sunlight like a crown jewel. While pedestrians glance, stare, and instantly assume the passenger inside is someone whose time costs more per minute than their monthly salary. Because owning a Phantom is not about transportation, it is about psychological positioning, a statement that you've transcended urgency. Noise and chaos, the doors don't swing open like normal cars. They open backwards, coach doors, inviting you in like a private chamber. And the moment you step inside, the outside world dies, street sounds vanish. Because it is, layers of soundproofing, custom insulation, and acoustic glass turn the cabin into a sanctuary where wealth whispers instead of screams. The leather is not stitched, it is tailored, sourced from bulls raised in climates with fewer insects so the hides remain flawless. The wood is not plastic pretending to be luxury, it is real, hand-selected veneers matched grain for grain, polished for weeks until reflections look liquid, and above you, the starlight headliner glows softly. Hundreds of fiber optic stars placed by hand to replicate real constellations or a custom sky chosen by the owner. Because even the heavens must align with your taste, this is where lifestyle reveals itself. Not in speed, not in horsepower, but in comfort that feels almost disrespectful to normal life. With legroom that allows you to stretch like you're on a first-class bed. Champagne coolers hidden behind panels, umbrellas concealed inside the doors for when rain dares to touch you, and controls that let you command climate, music, lighting, and privacy without lifting your voice. Because people who own Phantoms do not raise voices, they raise standards outside, people assume the driver is rich. But insiders know the real wealth sits quietly in the back, reviewing deals, making calls that move markets, or simply staring out the window as the city passes like background footage. This car is built for those who don't need to prove they are busy. Because their silence already signals power, the Phantom lifestyle is arriving late and being forgiven, arriving early and being waited for. Stepping out while security opens doors before you even reach them, this is why the Phantom is often seen outside five-star hotels, private terminals, and exclusive estates, never rushed, never aggressive, just present, dominating space through calm authority. Because the ultimate luxury is not speed, it is control over time, noise, comfort, and perception. And as the engine hums quietly beneath layers of engineering perfection, you realize this car does not take you places. It separates you from the world, lifting you into a bubble where stress cannot enter, where urgency does not exist, where wealth is not a dream but a routine, and this is only the beginning. Because the Phantom is not just a car. It is the gateway into a lifestyle few will ever experience, and even fewer will truly understand. Power does not always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it arrives wrapped in silence, leather, and confidence so deep it doesn't need validation. And the Rolls-Royce Phantom exists exactly in that realm, woven seamlessly into the daily routines of people who operate on a level where normal rules stop applying. Because for a billionaire, the Phantom is not a weekend luxury or a reward car. It is a tool, an extension of their identity, a moving office, a private retreat, and a social filter all at once. The moment the Phantom pulls up, the environment adjusts, hotel staff straighten their posture, valets move faster, doors open without questions, and conversations lower in volume not because anyone was told to, but because the presence of this car signals hierarchy, a reminder that someone inside lives above inconvenience. This is the car that picks up owners from private terminals where jets idle quietly, From glass towers where deals worth millions are signed with one pen stroke, from private residences guarded by gates and silence. And inside the cabin, life continues uninterrupted. The rear seats reclined. Tables folded out, screens glowing softly with market charts. Emails or encrypted calls, while outside the city blurs past like a low-resolution simulation. Irrelevant and distant, because this lifestyle is not about engaging with chaos. It's about floating above it, and the Phantom is engineered precisely for that. The suspension reads the road ahead using cameras, adjusting itself before bumps even arrive, meaning the owner rarely feels the imperfections of the world beneath them. A subtle but powerful metaphor for how wealth works. Problems exist, but they're smoothed out before they ever reach you, and when the driver accelerates, there's no drama, no roar, no announcement, just effortless movement, because true power doesn't flex, it glides. The Phantom doesn't chase speed records, it moves with authority, reminding everyone nearby that the destination is already secured. This is why many ultra-wealthy owners choose to be chauffeured. Not because they can't drive, but because driving is labor, and their time is too expensive to be spent focusing on traffic. Instead, they sit back, think, strategize, rest, or simply enjoy the rarest commodity on Earth, uninterrupted silence. And when they do attend events, the Phantom becomes part of the ritual. Red carpets, black-tie dinners, discreet entrances to exclusive clubs. The car frames the arrival perfectly, not flashy like supercars, not aggressive like hypercars, but dignified, reserved, intimidating in its restraint, sending a clear message that the person stepping out does not seek attention. They command it naturally, and socially, the Phantom is a filter. It separates curiosity from access, admirers from insiders. Because people who truly belong in this world don't ask about price, fuel efficiency, or specs. They understand instantly that this object exists in a category above explanation. Ownership itself becomes a quiet membership badge, a signal exchanged between those who recognize the language of extreme luxury. And psychologically, this has a powerful effect. The Phantom reinforces the owner's identity daily, reminding them that they have escaped the noise-driven, rush-filled life most people accept as normal. It builds confidence not through adrenaline, but through calm, through consistency, through an environment where everything responds smoothly, gently, obediently, and over time, this changes how a person thinks, makes decisions, and handles pressure. Because when your daily environment is controlled, refined, and protected, your mindset follows. And this is why the Phantom lifestyle is addictive. Once you live inside this bubble of silence and comfort, everything else feels aggressive, cheap, and exhausting. Normal cars feel loud, streets feel hostile. Waiting feels insulting, and that is the real power of the Phantom. It quietly rewires your standards, ensuring that once you've experienced life at this level, there is no going back, only forward, deeper into a world where luxury is not decoration, it is infrastructure. Part 3: Legacy, Wealth Psychology, and Why It Will Never Be Touched. Legacy is not built through noise, trends, or viral moments. It is built through consistency, restraint, and decisions that age like fine art rather than social media posts. And this is where the Phantom transcends being a luxury object and becomes a symbol of permanence in a world obsessed with speed and attention. Because while supercars chase headlines with acceleration numbers and futuristic designs that feel outdated within 5 years, the Phantom moves slowly through decades, unchanged in spirit, untouched by trends, immune to hype, existing for a very specific type of individual who understands that real wealth is not about what is new, but what lasts. And psychologically, this car speaks directly to that mindset. The mindset of dynasties, of family offices, of people who don't ask, how much does it cost, but instead ask, will this still matter in 20 years? Hand-assembled by artisans whose skills are passed down like inheritance, customized not by factory presets, but by personal vision, turning each car into a one-of-one artifact that reflects the owner's taste, values, and philosophy. This is why many Phantoms outlive their first owners, becoming part of estates, collections, and generational stories, passed down or preserved like watches, paintings, and properties. And this permanence creates a powerful psychological anchor. Owners don't feel the need to replace it every year. They don't feel the itch of comparison. They don't scroll to see what's trending next. Because when you already own something timeless, trends lose their power over you, and that is freedom at its purest form. Freedom from validation, freedom from comparison, freedom from urgency. The Phantom reinforces this daily, from the moment you step inside its silent cabin to the way it glides through cities without announcing itself. It teaches patience, composure, and control, traits that define long-term success rather than short-term wins. And socially, this car carries weight that money alone cannot buy. It commands respect not through intimidation, but through heritage, through a reputation built over a century of serving royalty, heads of state and individuals who shape the world quietly behind closed doors. And when someone sees a Phantom, they don't think rich, they think established, untouchable, legacy, words that carry far more power than flashy wealth ever could. This is why it sits at the top of the luxury hierarchy without needing to compete. It doesn't compare itself to anything else. Because comparison is a tool of insecurity, and the Phantom has none, it exists in its own lane, creating a ceiling that others can only approach but never surpass. And this is the final truth about the Phantom lifestyle. It is not aspirational in the traditional sense. It is selective, it filters out those chasing attention and attracts those who already have influence. And once you understand that, you realize why it will never be replaced. Electrified trends will come and go, autonomous futures will rise and fall. New luxury brands will shout louder and faster, but there will always be a place for something that represents control, silence, craftsmanship, and legacy, because human psychology does not change. People at the top will always desire separation from chaos, protection from noise, and symbols that reinforce their identity without explanation. And the Phantom delivers that better than anything else ever built, making it not just a car but a moving reminder that true luxury is not about excess. It is about mastery over time, perception, and self. And that is why no matter how advanced the world becomes, the Phantom will remain untouchable, because legacy never goes out of style.